Hi there, and it's time for another reading, and this time we are looking at Dragon's Heat, Chapter 1. I apologise if you hear the noise of my heater going in the background, but it's actually got really chilly here this evening, so we're just going to have to put up with it, and yeah. So we'll see how we get on and start reading, shall we? This was Dragon's Heat is book one of the City Dragon series. As with all of my readings and everything else that goes on my YouTube channel, all the content in here belongs to me. And yes, if you're wanting to use it for anything at all apart from just enjoying it, then please get in touch with me and we'll see what we can do. So let's start. Dragon's Heat, Chapter 1. What is it, Essie? John Erskine didn't bother looking up from the pages of figures on his desk. There's something wrong here, and I'm damned if I can put my finger on what it is. I said I didn't want to be disturbed. Actually, Essie's pert tone made him look up. What you said was, I don't want to be disturbed until that big shot client Raoul fobbed me off with arrives. He's arrived, so I'm disturbing you. His appointment wasn't until 2:00. John pushed his dark curls off his face to glare at his computer. It read 2:05. Shit, that means I've worked through lunch again. I did leave your lunch on the side table as requested, Essie added, as though reading his mind. I imagine it's cold by now. Or overcooked, John thought with a sigh. His daily order of steak salad, hold the salad, was freshly made to his specific requirements. His stomach rumbled, letting him know what he was missing. Please remove the tray and give me 5 minutes before letting Mr. Hollingsworth, Dirk Hollingsworth, owner and chief financial officer of Hollingsworth Holdings. Of course he is, John thought crossly. He hated working with family firms. As a forensic accountant, it was his job to track down fraudsters and embezzlers. Finding criminals in a family-owned enterprise was always fraught with danger, usually for the investigator, especially when it came to working with paranormal companies. As a dog shifter, John found working with paranormals easier than in the human world, but his shifted form was often an issue with his clients. His German Shepherd, or Alsatian, depending on where you were from, was respectable enough amongst other dog packs, but not considered highly by the more exotic shifters. He idly wondered what paranormal family the Hollingsworths were affiliated with. All Raoul would say was that they were high up in shifter circles, not that it bothered him, while most shifters looked down on him because he didn't shift into something predatory like a wolf or a bear. They soon changed their tune when they realised that he was blessed with the keen intelligence, loyalty and tenacity of his breed. Pulled from his thoughts by the sound of his office door closing and realising he was on a 5-minute countdown, John hurried to the small bathroom attached to his office. He'd been working on the Gordon account for over a week, usually falling asleep at his desk in the early hours. He'd found their missing money. That was the easy part. Finding how the money got stolen in the first place was proving more difficult. The fact that the owner, Vern Gordon, wasn't interested in those details was suspicious enough. John's gut told him Vern's brother was responsible, but he had to prove it first. Another family firm, John sighed as he splashed his face with water and looked at his reflection critically. His facial features hovered between pretty and handsome, his dark hair streaked with lighter shades that had turned almost blonde when he managed to spend some time out of the office, which was an office, often. As the most highly qualified forensic accountant in the United States, he was called on cases that spanned the globe. Hollingsworth wasn't exceptional, having travelled from New York to his office in California. Some of his clients came from as far away as Australia. I'd better make an effort to look the part. John shrugged off his limp shirt, finding another hanging from the rack he'd kept for just this sort of occasion. His pants still held a crease, and he eased his jacket over his reasonable shoulders, straightening his cuffs. Running his fingers through his hair, recognising it was long overdue for a cut, John smiled at his reflection, then frowned, and then settling for an expression in between. It's not as though I need to be too friendly. These guys are asking for my help. Reminding himself his shifter status had no bearing on his ability to do his job, John sauntered back into his office, taking the time to slide the papers on his desk into his drawer. It wouldn't do to give his new clients the idea he was careless with confidential papers. Not that they were clients yet. This was a preliminary interview, so John could assess the case. If he didn't want to take it, nobody could force him to. It was one of the perks he got for working privately. Dick Hollingsworth glared across the room at the pretty receptionist. Wolf shifter, if he wasn't mistaken, and he was always right. Not that his glaring did any good. She was busily typing on her keyboard, apparently uncaring he had been waiting for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Didn't she realise his time was worth hundreds of thousands of dollars a day? I thought you promised to leave your temper at home, Bryce, his personal assistant, murmured. This guy is the best in his field, and I called in a lot of favours simply to get this appointment. I don't deserve to be kept waiting. Doesn't this guy know how much of an honour it is I'm even in this cruddy office? Okay, so he was being unfair about the decor. The office was decorated in understated chic, designed to put clients at ease rather than overwhelming them with ostentatiousness. He'd been offered a variety of refreshments, clearly designed to cater to any manner of paranormal. He wouldn't have refused if he'd known he was going to be kept waiting. A discreet bell sounded, and the perky receptionist stood. Come on through, gentlemen. Mr. Erskine will see you now. She headed down a long corridor, barely wide enough to hold three people working together. It was clear she took on a protective role, ensuring her boss wasn't bothered with unwelcome intruders. Dirk admitted privately that she was doing a good job. No amount of bluster and throwing his weight around got him any further than the waiting room. A strange heat climbed up his spine as he got closer to the dark wood doors at the end of the hallway. He sniffed. Essie's scent was strongest, probably because she walked up and down the hallway 10 times a day. But there was another scent, not as strong, but 1,000,000 times more alluring, until Dirk realised what it was. Dog? Male dog? Hell no. I just remembered, I have another meeting, Dirk stammered as his dragon fought to get free. He'd be squashed if he attempted to shift where he was. Shoving his files in Bryce's direction. You take care of this, I'll meet you back at the hotel. Dirk? But Dirk was heading in the other direction. Essie had opened her boss's door, and Dirk had got a quick glimpse of a strong man with the most appealing face he'd ever seen. Praying he'd caught his spirit in time, Dirk sprinted down the hallway like a frightened rabbit. And that, my friends, is the end of Chapter 1. And as always, if you are interested in reading more, then you will find it on Amazon, and I believe Dragon's Heat is also on audio, so you can always check that out on Audible as well. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll look forward to catching you on our next reading for next Saturday. If you know my books and have got any special requests, drop them in the comments below. In the meantime, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to hug the ones you love. Bye.